This morning, we would like to give an update on what LDC has been doing in Wariman over the last 5 months with respect to evicting settlers. We received instructions from the Prime Minister by way of a letter dated 17 March 2020. In that letter, the Prime Minister directed me and asked me to take stock of all the assets that LDC owns around the country. So since that year, up until today, we have successfully managed to evict most of the settlers on LDC's rundown assets, including abattoirs and cattle ranches. One which we have successfully completed this eviction exercise is portion 126 in Wariman, that is located along the West Coast Road in Wewak province. Wariman is located very close to the town of Wewak, and as of last week Friday, the last remaining settlers who have been squatting on the property have been removed. Actually, they have voluntarily decided to vacate the premises themselves, because I told them, you work with me, and then when I make the property at Wariman become operational and it's doing business, we will engage you as employees and you will enjoy some spin-off benefits. So they have cooperated with LDC, they have also cooperated with the police. Our policemen in Wewak have been our biggest supporter. They have been with us from day number 1 in July when we gave them the eviction notices. The police have cooperated with us under the leadership of the Provincial Police Commander, Chief Superintendent Christopher Tamari, and the Task Force Commander, Sergeant Ronald Sibenari, and his team. LDC would like to thank you very much for the work that you continue to do to provide security to our staff and the casual employees that we have engaged there, as well as the contractor. They patrol the premises day and night. At one stage, they showed me a video of what they were doing at 2 o'clock in the morning. The police car was patrolling Wariman. I would like to commend the efforts of the hard-working policemen in Wewak. And so far, all of the houses and all of the people who have been living on that property in Wariman have now vacated the premises. That is something that the people of Sepik have taught us, that if you are squatting on government land and the government wants you to move out so that they can develop it for the common good of all people, we must do it. And I truly commend the people of Sepik, those who have been living on portion 126 at Wariman for the last 30 years. I was told that children were born there and grandchildren were born there. When I went there with no kotora but the letter from the Prime Minister, they said, well, he's our CEO for the country. We have to listen to him. So they have decided to move out on their own accord without any compensation. They asked for compensation, but I told them, I will compensate you in terms of providing employment, and you will have access to this abattoir, to the business with LDC and its partners going forward. But I will not give you cash compensation. And so they have agreed. And I would like to thank the Prime Minister for giving us this directive, because if we have never done it, nobody could have done it, because it would have remained there like for the next 30 plus years. Wariman would have been just another run-on property in this country. So because of the PM's directive, we have literally taken on board this challenge to reclaim all our assets and to take stock, to count. So I was telling these settlers, to take stock means to count. I will have to count who is on my payroll, on the government's payroll. If you are not on my payroll, I cannot count you. You need to move on before I start counting. So they understood what I was saying. I also said, taking stock also requires me to count what infrastructure that was put up by the government. So if you are not living in a building that was put up by the government, then I cannot count this. If you have put up illegal structures, illegal makeshift buildings, you need to pull all of those down. So they also comply. So right now, if you go to Wariman today, there are only 2 buildings standing. That's the remaining iron frames on the rundown abattoir, and there's the new building that is put up by the contractor, Wewak group of companies. Apart from these 2 buildings, everything else on the Wariman property that was covered under thick bush, forest, and swamp, they are all removed and the place is clear. So if you're now driving along Dago Road or West Coast Road as they call it, or they call it Kokonas Highway, and you look this way, as far as your eyes can see, there's nothing there. When you see the trees at the back, that's what Wariman used to look like, a thick forest. But we sort of excavated it. It dug 68, it dug a perimeter fence all around the 68 hectares. We built a permanent fence, and so the fence now is used as a stormwater drainage for rainwater. So Wariman is secured. It is now ready for opening on the 15th of December 2024.
After its opening on 15th December, when do you expect, or when does LDC expect to receive the first lots of cattle?
All right. The Wariman Abattoir Abattoir property used to be the land that hosted the abattoir on the northern part of PNG. That's a Wariman. Now, when it was run down back in the 1990s, all the livestock farmers, they could not do anything because there was no market for it. So we haven't built the abattoir yet. We have reclaimed the land, we have built the staff accommodation. Now our staff are living in rented accommodation. So the house that we have built, it's a duplex. One staff will be living there, another staff will be living there also in the other unit, in that same duplex. You will be in charge of what we want to do up at Koim on the Sepik plains. We won't bring in the cattle until we put up the fence up at Urimo, which we visited last weekend. So, but to bring the cattle to Wariman depends on how fast we put the fence around the 20,000 hectares of state lease and the LDC, which are on the Sepik plains. Last time I went there was nobody there. The place was just vacant. And one of the landowners there, I used to meet him when I went there like 2 years ago. And they were there and they were excited to meet me. They said, "Boss, I'm probably here. You have to come now, you come sit down now, make a walk now, people like I'm helping you." So we are really excited about this. So the cattle exporter, Mr. Ian Bradford from One Stock, Rural Exports, I put him up there and he saw it. He said, "Terry, if you want to partner with somebody, put my name down. I want to come and stay here." Because this is what he said. You don't need to go elsewhere to look for money. Your money is here on the Sepik plains. Your food security is here. You Papua New Guineans are very passionate about rugby league. But if you want to breed the next generation of tall, muscular, aggressive, tough rugby league players to play in the NRL for the next 100 years, you need to invest on the Sepik plain in beef cattle production. You need to beef up the human resource. You have to beef up the population. And you give me this, I want to come and stay here and I want to work with all the farmers and extend the activities to the rest of the Sepik plains. And they was asking me, how big is the Sepik plains? I just estimated by doing the Google map, and I said, it's probably about 4 million hectares. So you have 4 million hectares and there's nothing happening. I said, well, there's something happening, but not the whole of Sepik plains is literally vacant. he said, you have a very strategically located property right on Indonesia's doorstep. You don't see, I export cattle from Australia to Indonesia, it takes me 14, 15, 16 days on the sea. But if I bring it to Wewak and I bring them up to Rimo, you breed them here, you make them as your cattle, and you just walk them across the border. Rimo, also the key to unlocking PNG's potential in beef cattle production. So our investment is not, we're not just eating anyhow. We know exactly what we are doing. So we accept critics. Critics are good for us because they will keep us honest and on our toes. But we have a determination, we have the plan to make sure that PNG becomes self-reliant in meat production at some point into our future. So we would like to make this happen. We have signed the MOU last week, over the weekend, sorry. We are looking to bring in the first lot of 1,200 breeder cattle into PNG. Probably will use that one to populate Launa Kalana estate. But with the same exporter, we will bring some more to Ley and to Wewak. So we are on target to deliver this policy expectation of the Marape government.
Going back to Wariman, to get Wariman fully functional and operational in maybe the next 2-3 years, how much would it cost the state and LDC? What is the estimated budget or investment that will be put into this?
All right. This year, the whole of this year, under the national budget, LDC was to receive 35 million. As I am speaking to date, we have received not a single kina, but it did not stop us from doing what we are doing. So it's up to the government. If they want to put a stop to the importation of frozen meat that amounts or costs PNG 450 million to 500 million kina every day, they should consider funding all of the budget submissions that LDC puts forward every year. Like this year we didn't receive anything, so we were not able to do the importation. Even though all our ranges were ready, like Ian Bradford, whatever he told me, you see, look, you are ready. From Goroga to Ley, to Launa Kalana, to Wewak, you are all ready to get this. When we want the cattle, I said, well, I'll let you know. As soon as I have the money, I'll let you know. So we need to invest in this. That's something that the government needs to step up to those who are in positions of authority in releasing funding for PIP projects. They need to see what LDC is doing and read the reports that we are submitting so that we get what we are entitled to get under the budget appropriation. And so today we haven't received anything, and we're not complaining because we got the land, so we are working, we've got our hands and our legs. We got recurrent budget that is for operational purposes, but we use it for some of the PIP projects that we are doing. So I don't want to discuss how much we need to do this going forward because the budget has already been submitted to the government. So I'm waiting to see how much it will be, how much will be appropriated to LDC, and then I will talk about how much it will cost us to do it. But what I've done so far, from reclamation, eviction, the boundary fence, the clearing of the all 68 hectares, and the construction of the new building, we signed an agreement with the developer, to the contractor. It cost us 2 million to do this. Luckily, we brought our excavator there, because the first time we brought one bulldozer to do this work, it cost almost like 300,000. I said, man, that's a lot of money. So I had to bring my excavator from, our excavator from Ley. We shipped it to Wewak, and it has been stationed there for the last 5 months. It has been working 5 days a week from 7 to 5 o'clock in the evening. So that's at no cost to LDC, and we have saved a lot of money out of this. So we'd like to use this one for other operations. So that's phase one. Phase one of this activity has cost us 2 million to operationalize, set up the abattoir, set up the other projects like the solar farm. We would like to do in partnership with the provincial government and the district so that we can sell the excess power to the PNG power, to the main grid. All of these ones, it will cost a fair bit of money. So at this point in time, I don't want to give a figure, otherwise you might misquote me. So I would like to think that I have included in the budget for next year. So if they approve this budget, then I will be able to talk about it next year. Anything else? We will import about breeder cattle and all this, it's already in the news now. We are waiting for the two countries to sort out the protocols for importation of breeder cattle. And once that is done, we will proceed. And also at the same time, it's about money now. We haven't been given any funding, so we are just doing this just to make sure the government knows that we are not sleeping. We are trying to address this very, very critical issue, food security issue in our country. You see, we import lamb flaps, we import even chicken. Most of the beef is imported when we have grass all year round. So the other person that we brought in, that's like 3 weeks ago, David Galvin from the Australian Exporters Council, he's the chairman. He came here and looked at all this Livestock Exporters Council like this. He said, man, your country is all, it's evergreen. Why can't you put cattle and all this? And I told him, that's why you are here. You need to see it so that when I talk to you about importing cattle, you will agree with me. So that's the manner we deal with all the exporters. And then I brought one actual exporter. So he went, he looked at the place, he looked at the ranges, and he said, you guys are ready. When do I send the first lot? I said, well, I will let you know. So I would like to think that before the beginning of next year, early next year, we should have the first importation of 1,200 breeders from Australia.